No. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. It's December 5th, 2025. I am your host, Sonja, and Bistrilla, my producer extraordinaire and co-host here. What's up? What up, though?
What up, though? It's cold in the D.
It's cold in the D, in the Duval. Did you guys get snow?
We've been getting snow on and off the last 3-4 days. Didn't snow today, though. It was nice and pretty today, but it was cold. When it's sunny outside, it's fun. It's nice, but it's not. You sure you want to put that one there? Not
I
that
don't know.
That's
Yeah, I was trying to help you out there. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Welcome in on this cold Friday and first Friday of the month. First of the month. Some of y'all got paid today and all that good stuff. Let me do something that I didn't. I don't even think I did it. B, I know your mom had a heavenly birthday last week, so happy heavenly birthday to her. And my grandmother / mother who raised me, her birthday was on the 2nd of this week, so happy heavenly birthday to her as well. So I wanted to take an opportunity to say that. And you all come in and share the live. That theme song seems like it's long, and then it's not long enough because I never have enough time to share all my streams, but we're going to get them done today. B, let's start off talking about last night's game. I mean, you guys hosted the Dallas Cowboys in most frigid temperatures, and despite Sam Laporta and I think it was Amara St. Brown, in the end was it Amara that ended up getting injured during the game, or he walked out or something?
No. That was Brian Branch near the end of the game. He got hurt. Had Achilles. His Achilles is torn, so he's going to be out for the rest of the season. That's not good news. As long as Kirby comes back, is fine. Anyway, I'm looking at these comments. Anyway, every time. I'll talk to you about that after show. Every time I add somebody's thing to this is what happens. But anyway, no, that was bad, but Amon was playing like a champ in there. He acted like he wasn't even injured, and he played well. Then on top of that, we had Frazier come in there, Miles Frazier from LSU, the offensive guard. He came in there and filled in really well, played really well. Kudos out to James' school, LSU, there, because he's a good product. He came out there and balled out. And of course, Gibbs, he tied the record for most touchdowns under 24 with Barry Sanders, who had 47 as well. And he isn't even 24 yet. So he's got a little way to go. He won't be 24 until March of next year. So he'll break that record. So
yeah, kudos to him. I saw that. I was super excited for him. So what were your thoughts on the game, as you continue to go through these stats here?
I thought that Dan Campbell played within himself this game. I mean, he called within himself this game, and it's something I wanted to see. They also did exactly what they were supposed to do in the beginning of the game, is come out and start passing. You're not going to get any yards running right through the teeth of that defense for Dallas, because Quinnen Williams, that dude, he's a beast. He's one of the best run stoppers in the NFL. And you're not going to be able to get anything done with that, that middle of the line. So, having said that, I thought that what they could do is attack, Dallas between the middle and the back end. And that's what they did with Jahmyr Gibbs. They just ran him across between the hash marks. And that's where he didn't really get that many rush yards, but he got a lot of passing yards. I think he got like seven catches for 77 yards. And he was balling out. You couldn't stop him. You couldn't stop anybody coming across them. Dallas couldn't stop anybody coming across. And they pressured Dak. They got 5 sacks.
You're rhyming there too.
Right.
Yeah, that was pressured a lot. That was a pretty high amount of sacks on him. I'm sure he was grabbing the Epsom salt today, the scented version. And so, it's cold and everything.
I gotta be the scented version.
Dr. Tillman's. I couldn't think of Dr. Till's. I couldn't think of the name of the brand, so I had to. They have some really nice winter scents. It's aroma, and he needs to mentally decompress, because last night was really rough. That game actually was closer than I thought it was going to be. I know you and I talked about this though a little bit, because you weren't really too sure on how Dan Campbell was doing his play calling, and Dallas has kind of turned the corner a little bit, or at least, even though the commentators last night when Dallas lost was like, well, we thought they were back. Okay, it's just one game, guys. They are still back. They are still playing really good football, despite the fact that the Panthers lassoed them several weeks ago. They've come a long way from their 3-7 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was worried about, because Dallas was playing they were playing decent defense, but kind of like when I was looking at it, they still gave up some points in those games. So I didn't think the Lions were going to have too much trouble on the offense, depending on how Dan called that game. But Dallas had come off beating 2 of the Super Bowl contenders, and one champ and one of the runners up, in 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Now that was at home, granted.
Yes.
Probably if they played those games on the road, they probably wouldn't have won. But if they, playing them at home is always an advantage. And so when they go on the road, they're thinking they're going to come into the Ford Field. You got to remember, last year, the Lions put a thumping on them last year. Beat them bad. So that was another thing that I thought Dallas would be hyped about, because you got 2 of the greatest receivers. Well, you got 2 great receivers coming into this game with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. And CeeDee Lamb was balling out at first. Nobody can stop. CeeDee Lamb is just he's CeeDee.
Silence of the Lamb.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs. And yeah, he was balling out, but then he got concussed, jumping up to get a ball and in the end zone, and he came down with
knocked up. Go.
Yeah, he got his bell, and you can ring my bell.
Ring my bell.
So
ring.
He went out for the rest of the game on that. And and it was just Pickens. And Pickens, I don't know what happened to him in the second half. It's like he was disinterested. He wasn't trying to, I don't know what he was doing. And I know it was on Amazon Prime, and Richard Sherman went after him about that. Not to him, but on the show, is saying, Pickens needed to step his game up. And Pickens got pissed off about that whole situation because, I don't know why. Dude, you didn't do nothing in the second half. You're supposed to take the lead when CD goes down. You're supposed to be the alpha. You're supposed to be one alpha. So I don't understand why you're getting mad at somebody for pulling it out that you ain't doing anything. Everybody in the stadium could see you weren't doing nothing. You got a ball taken away from you. You couldn't catch a lot over the middle. You're just playing real bad in the second half. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, Dallas, I guess they underestimated Detroit's defense too. I think the defense got five sacks. They also got 3 turnovers. One of them was a forced, actually 5, actually. 5. Why? Anyway.
five. Yeah, we're trying to
Five.
connect.
Yeah, we're trying to do some things here.
I'll share it from another page. Pantherettes, hang on. We're coming. We're trying to fix it. It's a little disconnect here. I got it, B, on my side. But yeah, I mean, the thing about everything was that game was really, really good. So going forward, I mean, there's a lot of, competition in the NFC, especially in the NFC North. What do you see Detroit doing to try to make sure that these games are not, because these close games are dangerous, B, honestly.
Well, I mean, they really have to go. They only got one more home game, and that's against Pittsburgh in the next 4 games. They got to go on the road to the Rams. They got to go on the road to Chicago and Minnesota. Minnesota and Pittsburgh don't bother me at all. But the Rams bother me, and so do Chicago on the road. Because remember, in the beginning of the season, Detroit paced at Chicago like 52-28. So I'm sure Ben Johnson's going to have something up his sleeve for that game. And it's in Chicago where it's cold. And people always say, "Oh, the Lions can't perform in the cold weather." Although last year they did that admirably against Chicago. So I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, but those two are 2 games that I kind of worry about, because the Rams, hopefully they beat the Cardinals this weekend so that they're happy and they got to win, because I'm sure they're pissed off for the fact that they lost to the Panthers. And they're coming in to play good Cardinals. I'm sure they're going to take their frustrations out in the Cardinals. Cardinals ain't going to stop them. So if they get that win, that's fine. That means the Lions are going into a happy environment instead of a pissed off one. So that'll be good for the Lions. But they got to win every game, meaning the Lions got to win every game, and hope that Chicago and Green Bay beat up on each other, because they play each other twice. So
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, B.
No, you go ahead. You're good.
No, I was going to say, that's pretty much the scope of everything. This is the time of year everybody's playing everybody, and you got to win out. Just like you were saying, you guys got to win out. Panthers got to win out. It's just too close of a competition in NFC right now. So you got to win to stay in, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and both the Panthers and the Lions have a better, harder way to go. And speaking of which, Dallas, even though they lost that game, their pathway is easier as far as the games they got to play. So got to watch them too, because I think they got Washington twice, Washington once. I don't know what their schedule is for that.
The Vikings have the Commanders on Sunday. Jaden Daniels has been cleared to return.
Yep.
Dan Quinn came out and said that today. Welcome back to him. Terry Scary, we saw him in the last matchup. So hopefully Washington can look like themselves with this game, B. I mean, this is an NFC game, and I don't know. It may be too late for Washington to save their season, but this is what teams like to do, though. Those teams that have nothing to play for, that's their greatest joy, is to play upset. I mean, the Panthers have done it the last 5 seasons, to do nothing else but to be able to upset those teams that have solidly worked hard all season and gotten where they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, here, bear with me a moment here.
No, you're good.
I'll bring up Dallas's schedule here. All right, so the next teams that they play the Vikings. That's to be the next team that Dallas plays. Then they play the Chargers. Then they play the Commanders, and then they play the Giants. So they could relatively win 3 of those 4 games. The Chargers might be tough, but they're playing in Dallas. So, like I said, Dallas plays pretty well in Dallas. But when they go on the road, that's the problem that they have. But they can relatively win the table. They have an easier schedule than either one of our teams do. So we'll see how that works out for them, though. And the thing about it, though, is they got to win all their games, because we hold a tiebreaker with them. You beat them, we beat them. So they definitely got to win all their games to even get a playoff spot. So,
well, we'll dive back into the NFL schedules coming up on Sunday. Kudos to your team. Thank you, Lions. The Panthers, thank you, and we love you, Lions, for your defeat of the Dallas Cowboys. Because with that, even though the Panthers are taking a nice bye, I cannot believe we're finally getting a break after 14 weeks. They finally give the Panthers a break. Like, what? Who needs a bye this late in the season? I think all teams need to be on bye between week 7 and 10. That way, it's the halfway mark. You kind of get a little bit of a breather. But I know they don't generate. They say AI does it, what have you. But I will say this: the Panthers are now in the top 10 for NFC teams that are ranked as of that. We are now number 9. Thank you so much to your Lions, B.
Well, if they go to an 18-game season, there's been talks that between, after week 9, teams will have a bye. Everybody will have a bye at the same time, which I think is the most fair issue. I think some of these buys come late for some teams and some it's too early for some teams and too late for other teams. It should be in the middle of the season when you have your buys, because then that way your players that are hurt during the beginning of the season can be, pretty much saddled up and healthier come the second part of the season. So if they go to an 18-game schedule, that's what they're talking about doing, is having a bye right in between week 9 and week 10. So that would be good. That would be fair for everybody.
Definitely good. So we'll talk about all those big games coming up on Sunday. Let's start with the college football scene. We don't talk about them too much. A little mad game going on. It started at 7 o'clock tonight. Kennesaw State versus Jacksonville State. This is for the CUSA championship game. This is on CBS Sports Network right now. Also, Troy versus number 25, James Madison, the Sun Belt Championship. Shout out to my alum, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. That used to be the Peach Belt Conference with ours. Now they are in a whole nother division with Kennesaw State as well. The 6 o'clock game was North Texas, number 24, versus number 20, Tulane, for the American Championship game on ABC. And at 8 o'clock started UNLV versus Boise State. This is the Mountain West Championship. Tomorrow, before we get to tomorrow's games, B, I saw you nodding your head. What are your most interested games out of all those for tonight?
Well, basically, Tulane wins, and Duke is playing Virginia tomorrow.
And
if Duke wins that game, they're going to throw a whole big monkey wrench into the college playoff situation. Yeah. But I don't see that happening. Hopefully, Virginia Cavaliers take care of their business. But right now, I really don't have any. I don't have any. No horse in any of these races. The only one that's really interesting to me is the Tulane one. They're playing North Texas. And they're winning 14-7 right now. They're in a red zone. It's 17-7 now. They just kicked field goal. Boise State is beating UNLV 21-0.
Running Rebels. So
taking control over that. And your Jacksonville JMU is beating Troy 17-14 in the third. And this one's pretty. Jacksonville getting beat by Kennesaw 10-0. That's surprising.
Yeah, that's here in GA, right outside Atlanta.
Yeah, that's for fourth quarter action too. That's a very defensive game. So
all right. So yeah, that would be really big. And then tomorrow we have games that kick off at noon. BYU number 11 versus Texas Tech. That's a big game. The Big 12 championship, matter of fact, on ABC. What are your thoughts on that game, B? That's a really, really big game. A highly coveted title, the Big 12 championship for grabs there.
Yeah, BYU wins that game again. That's another team that can throw a lot of wrenches into the college playoff scenario. I like Texas Tech, though, in this game because Texas has got that defense. Their defense is just playing underrated. This team has been underrated the whole season. So I got Texas Tech in that one in the Big 12 championship. So we shouldn't have too much problems as far as, chaos in the playoffs. Chaos in the playoffs.
With the little rap there. All right, another 12 o'clock game. Your neck of the woods, Western Michigan is actually playing Miami, Ohio. I had to clarify that. That's the MAC championship. That's going to be on ESPN. Any thoughts on that game?
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
That's all I got to say.
At 2:00, Prairie View A&M. They're back in action against none other than Jackson State. Wow. For the SWAC championship. That's going to be on ESPN2. Lots of games tomorrow, 2:00. Any thought? Does Prairie View get that one easy?
I'm not too familiar with Prairie View and their team this year.
They're kind of gonna be a little sneaky good, unpredictable from every season. Honestly, to be clear, I was a little shocked to see them this far into tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games that are championship games this weekend because it's that time of the season. However, a lot of these games get kind of slid underneath things because they're not prominent to the national playoff picture,
which is coming up here. I should have worn my UGA shirt because the 4:00 game be UGA Georgia, number 3 Georgia. Let's put some respect on it. Versus number 9 Alabama for the SEC championship at 4:00. Make sure y'all got all your food, snacks, everything lined up because 4:00 is going down. Like seriously, B, I'm gonna be studying tomorrow around noon. That study session will be wrapped up. I mean, I'll still be doing like some light reading, but I do want to watch that SEC game. What are your thoughts on that? That's a big game for the SEC.
Oh, I got Georgia in that. I think Georgia's going to take care of Alabama. Alabama's good this year. From when they lost the first game this season to Florida State, everybody thought, "Oh God, here we go. We're going to have this Alabama team."
But
again.
no,
Alabama team woke up after that, and they were like, "Nope, ain't happening."
They've regrouped since Nick Saban has left. Remember when he first left, the transfer portal was on fire. Folks was just like a turnstile getting out of there. Now it looks like they are back. They are, they just needed that one little season of a breather, and now they're literally super competitive. I mean, they're number 9.
Yeah, but it's in Alabama, but I think Georgia wins that. I still think Georgia wins that. I think Georgia's just a tad bit better than Alabama, and I think they can get it done. So I think they'll win the SEC championship. It shouldn't really matter to either one of the teams. I don't think they're going to drop. I don't think Alabama's going to drop that far down if they lose to Georgia. I don't think they'll be out as a playoffs, to tell you the truth. I think they'll still be in there. Let's see what Georgia. Well, wait a minute. Alabama is 10-2. If they get 10-3, they might be out because
that's what I was about to say. Yeah. And then you talked about Duke playing Virginia. That's the next game. I could have worn my Duke shirt as well. What's up, everybody coming on? You guys make sure you say hello. Let us know where you're checking in from. I'm Sonja. This is B. And this is the Prim and Proper Show, Friday with the Fellas. B being such a gentleman to be available tonight. J Train is enjoying himself at a holiday party. Jay, we miss you in case you're watching. Fern, we don't know what you're doing other than just avoiding the obvious because the Giants are now 2-11 or 13. I don't know. I give up. They've won like 2 games, and y'all do the math on the other. I don't even know. I think the last week is probably the bye week for them. I don't even think they've had a bye week. And then, Kevin, we know you're not going to show up. Like, I don't know. You guys are playing Seattle Sunday, so you're going to be unavailable. And Tip, after the Dallas game, you should be here to face the music. The Chihuahuas are doing nothing. We don't know where you are. I guess you're somewhere with your tequila, but he's the Cowboys fan that's on here. He should have been here to face B for real. But so the Virginia and Duke game is number 17 Duke versus number 17 Virginia versus Duke. That's for the ACC championship. Lots of Carolinas, Carolinians, I should say, North and South Carolina are going to be watching that game, and Virginia. It's the whole little southeastern region there,
right next to each other, basically.
Yes, yeah. I used to live in Virginia. It's right there by North Carolina, and then so maybe not South Carolina because that's more like Clemson and stuff. So this is going to be North Carolina and Virginia, and then at 8:00, number 2 Indiana. B is taking on. I can barely say it without getting nauseated. Number 1 Ohio State. For the Big Ten championship game. Everybody's going to be watching it. Number 1 versus number 2 on Fox. That is going to be highly watched because we got to see what goes down with Ohio State. What are your thoughts? I know that you despise them, but what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I mean, Ohio State is a good team. They're a very good team. Let's not knock them into the dirt because they are a very good team. But Indiana, I think, is just a tad better. I think they're not the Indiana that they played last year and beat them. Indiana self-destructed last year on special teams, and that's the reason why they lost that game. This is a different Indiana team, a better quarterback, better offensive line. There's bigger guys on this team. They're making bigger plays. I just don't see Ohio State having their way with Indiana's been blowing everybody out. I mean, blowing everybody out. Yeah. Ohio State has been too, but they haven't been playing real good teams. All right, and you know the Michigan Ohio State game. Take away the Michigan Ohio State game because you don't know what team's going to show up on either side on that one. So and they're happy. You see, that's the thing about Ohio State. Ryan Day won his first game against Michigan, and he's happy about that because he hasn't beaten Michigan since he's been a head coach there. So they're happy because they beat Michigan. They're going to take that happiness. And then Indiana's going to come in there and stump all over their heads because Indiana's just they're not appreciative of the fact that they got beat last year by them. So I like Indiana in this game. Yep, the Hoosiers defense is legit. Yep. So yeah, they're a good team, a very underestimated team. People are going to be this. OSU is great. They're doing great. And sorry, Fern. I mean, I know we don't have a good connect with the Michigan-Ohio State route, but your dreams are about to be dashed. But the thing about this game is because this is a 1-2 team, they might go. They might. It doesn't make a difference who loses because they're still going to be in the bye weeks. One of them, both of them are, and they might meet each other again.
Just know
the national championship. So
yeah, just know that they are hot garbage. I'm waiting for Ohio. I'm not even putting the in front of it. I have zero respect for them. And that's just because of the fan base. I'm just rooting for anyone that plays them. Fern, if this makes you come out and be available, then come out and be available and face the music. But other than that, I feel like this is one of those situations that it's time for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot underestimate anybody because this is what teams want to do to make sure they can stay in and win. And if you're not where you need to be, I mean, that goes across the board for all of us. If you're not where you need to be, then you're going to get left behind. Like it's literally just that simple. You're going to get left behind. I'm going to segue here. Well, let's before we get there, B, what is your most anticipated or exciting game that you're looking forward to for college this weekend?
Well, that's it right there. The Indiana Ohio State game. Yeah, that one's going to be and then probably Georgia Alabama right after that one. I mean, they're playing Georgia's playing first, and then the big game is at 8:00. But I'll be watching those top games because those are going to be interesting to me to see who are the Final Four in the Final Four in the playoffs because the first four teams get a bye. So
yeah, I'm super excited for all of those teams to be playing. I'm not really big. Let me be honest. I'm not really big into Duke football team, but I am a Duke fan by basketball. So by default, any of their sports, I kind of try to support them and what have you. And so definitely interested in seeing how those games turn out tomorrow. Before we segue into I should have told you about this, B, but I need to do this really quick. Before we segue into our NFL, let me just take a moment to talk about my niece, Pearson Jones, real quick. She is a senior at Southwest Guilford. B knows her. We've talked about her. You guys have heard me talk about her off and on. Excuse me. She is actually doing the Jabberwock for Delta Sigma Theta for scholarship. So between now and the end of February, I think, they are doing donations for her scholarship drive. And I will go ahead and run a banner real quick on that, but we'll have something up in the future because I forgot to put everything up there. But her Cash App is up there, Pierce Place, $ Pierce Place. Or you could just share the stream or comment in there. There's other ways to donate as well. You can comment in this show or whatever, and I'll get back with you and provide our email or what have you if you want to know about other options. But we have a whole little presentation just for her. I'm super proud of you, Pearson. You got this. She's got a lot of scholarship offers and everything, and this is just another one that she's been offered to participate in, but this is one that she's doing as a fundraiser to also help other students as well. So congratulations to her. And we are going to now segue into our NFL talk here, B. So, of course, the Panthers are off this week, like I told you guys, and everybody could just get ready to get sick of me. Just get sick of me, counted us out because we lost to the 49ers. I was actually shocked that we lost to the 49ers, but we've definitely redeemed ourselves with the Rams, so we deserve a nice break here at week 14. This schedule is going to be tough for a lot of NFC contenders, B. You notice the NFC competition is very tight. A lot of these teams are tied or one game or a half game behind each other. And so kicking off our 1 o'clock early slate games is, and I'm going to tell you who I'm rooting for, but it has an underlying meaning. I tell everybody every season, if the Panthers are ever competitive, every team that I usually dislike, they get a 1 vote from me to win that particular week because I need you to win for alternative reasons.
I know where you're going with this one.
Yeah. So the first game that's coming up is Seattle Seahawks versus the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Sam Darnold versus Kirk Cousins. Now, don't get it twisted. Atlanta has not looked good at all, but these two quarterbacks are veteran quarterbacks. And Sam Darnold has been up and down. But I'm rooting for Atlanta because Atlanta's no competition right now to us as tied in the first. And I need Seattle to drop a couple of games as the NFC West leaders. B, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, you're going to be waiting for that one for a while here because Seattle's going to whoop that behind. Seattle is a good defensive team. I just Cousins is going to get pile driven this game.
Like everybody,
I don't care if it's in Atlanta. I just Seattle is just they're playing really well right now. With the fact that that the Rams have lost to the Panthers, they're now tied for first place. I think that Seattle's like smelling blood in the water now because the Rams have lost. So they got to win every game, because I think they do have to play the Rams. Well, they don't have to play the Rams anymore, but they do have to play one more division team. Yeah, it is crazy. We were just talking about that, Brent. Yeah.
We literally almost forgot us. Like, bro, we don't even need it now. What bye week? Like, all right.
New England, the Giants, and San Francisco all have byes this week.
Yeah, so everybody got fantasy, folks. Make sure you check. I got to redo mine. I actually missed my game prediction last night for one of those because I totally forgot. But I got a bunch of folks on bye this week. A bunch of folks. So the person that's playing me in fantasy may win just because I think a lot of my teams are on byes this week. I tried not to set that up, but you know how it is when you're in a snake draft. You have to pick whatever you have.
And you draft Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I know how that goes.
I only drafted. I don't even have. Listen, I only have Bryce. No, I don't have Bryce. I have Xavier Leggett, who I've benched a couple of times. I don't have that many Panthers. I learned my lesson after the first season of drafting a bunch of Panthers.
Yeah, you do that. That's something that I always used to follow too. The only two people like back in the day when I was doing fantasy football, the only lines I would get were people that were productive, like Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate when he was playing, people that scoring points. And Matt Stafford. Other than that, I wouldn't put no other lines on not the Lions defense, not a running back, none of that stuff.
Oh, you know what?
They sucked.
I think I moved to the Panthers defense, but they've been looking really good. I switched them out. I had the Jets defense and the Steelers. So there's that.
Oh, yeah, that would be – yeah.
That was all that was left, though. That was all that was left. It's a bunch of people in my group. Speaking of the Steelers, that's the next game I'm going to talk about. This is Aaron Rodgers versus Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. The Steelers now have Adam Thielen. Everybody's predicting that's going to be a great target for Aaron Rodgers here. Aaron's coming up on his 42nd birthday. I think it's this week or next week. It's sometime in this month. And he's going to be trying to basically take Lamar Jackson to school here. And with Derrick Henry and Lamar, they just don't look as solid as they have been, B. I'm just not solidly convinced on this.
Yeah, the last 3 games, Lamar hasn't thrown a touchdown. He's had 3 interceptions, and he's turned the ball over a couple times on fumbles. So I don't know what's going on there. And Derrick Henry, it might be just the fact that, he's a big guy. He's been playing football for a very long time, and it's probably starting to wear on his bones, because he's a big guy. It's kind of like the adage that big dogs don't survive longer than little dogs do, because little dogs are little. Big dogs got a lot of, muscle on their body, and they have to move around so much. So it's a kind of same concept with Henry. Not calling him a dog, so don't go there. Anyway, Henry is a big back, and he's been doing this for at least 9-10 years now. So it's probably coming to his fold where his body is catching up with him. So with that combination in Pittsburgh, getting Adam Thielen is probably the best thing that's happened to them this season. It really has, because now the offense can move. And you got Adam Thielen, he can be the number 2, and you got, DJ Metcalf, who, when DJ Metcalf decides to quit playing during the course of the game, Aaron Rodgers really had nobody to throw to unless it's that big tight end they got over there, or Freiermuth, or the other tight end that they got. It really got no other receivers to throw to. So with Adam Thielen coming in there, that makes him an automatic number 2, because there's nobody is better than Adam Thielen on that team but DJ Metcalf. So you put him in a number 2 spot, and if DJ acts a fool out there and don't want to catch stuff, Aaron Rodgers has got a reliable target, and he's a very good route runner. As you know, because you've seen him in Carolina, and he's done the same thing when he was playing with Minnesota. So there's still some gas in that tank. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to utilize it. So I think they're going to win that game, to tell you the truth. I think Baltimore losing to Cincinnati like they did, that's telling right there. You can't lose to Cincinnati like that.
Joe Burrow came back and just owned them. He was like, listen, I'm back. I am back. And he showed it. But, I mean, Thielen's getting his wish, though, B. He wanted some playing time. He wants to, retire this season. He is going to retire. That's his plans. The only thing now is I just wonder. I mean, he wanted to retire a Viking. Of course, I don't see him retiring as a Steeler. But does he go back to retire with the Vikings after they were like, well, he wanted some play time, so we just gave him permission to go play somewhere else?
I mean, they could possibly do that. I mean, they do that to a lot of players that are loyal to the team that drafted him. I mean, he'll probably go back and sign a 1-day contract with Minnesota to retire a Minnesota Viking. If he goes into the Hall of Fame, I'm sure he's going to claim Minnesota as his Hall of Fame team. Who he's going to go into as a Hall of Fame. Pittsburgh is just a rental team for him.
Yeah, that's how Jared Allen was. Yeah, Jared Allen with the Panthers, he claimed the Vikings. He got ready to be honored and stuff like that. So it happens. But I guess for me, I was just like, do you think he was a little bummed about how it went down, or do you think he doesn't care?
I mean, it's business for one. And he's got to understand the perspective of the Minnesota Vikings, which I think he does. And that's the reason why he asked to be, let him go so he can go to a team that's going to make. Oh, he asked?
I thought he just approached them like, hey, I'd like to get some routes, to put some yards behind me. And
I think that's where people messed that whole situation up. But he went to ask because he wasn't going to be a primary target with that offense. First of all, JJ, you're not going to play over JJ, and you're not playing over Addison. Addison's playing really well, too. The problem with the Minnesota offense is the quarterback situation. Trash quarterbacks right now they got. And it's not fair to him anyway, because JJ McCarthy, Max Braz, or whoever they got back there throwing won't be throwing to him anyway. They're barely throwing to the receivers they need to be throwing to. So
you throw it to the water boys.
it was a business decision by both him and Minnesota. He was excited to go back there because, Minnesota at the time was doing okay. They had some life in them, but now they're just getting beat the crap. I mean, you don't score no points against Seattle. That just tells me right there, there's just no confidence in your offense at all. You can't even run the ball. You can't, and that's not a place that Thielen wants to retire at. He doesn't retire with this team going 3 and whatever. In their last place in the division, they have no hope to do anything right now, but reboot for the next season. So he's retiring after this season. I think he wants to go out in the glory. And Pittsburgh is on the edge of being a contender. Edge, I said, of being a contender. He can put them over that hump, I believe. So we'll see what happens this week when they play, because I believe they are going to start him in this game. And I want to see how Baltimore approaches it. But I think Pittsburgh can win this game. Baltimore's playing at a low level right now. I think Huntley can do a better job.
Yeah, I can't even imagine Thielen in a Steelers uniform. That's wild. Before this transaction, the only other team he played for was the Panthers. He was a Viking his whole time, and that's what I don't like about it. That it's down to the wire now, and he needs a third team. Like, he doesn't need it. Like, even though the Panthers have who they have now, had he not left, I mean, I know it's a blessing in disguise now because we have Coker and T-Mac, but had he not left, he would have been getting the start still. Bryce was targeting him almost all the time last year. And he was a game winner in several occasions. We went 5-12 last year. We only improved with him every season. But then again, he's gone this season, and we are already 7 games. So we're past where we were. We won more games this season than we won in the last 2 seasons combined. We were 2-12 the previous season. 5-12 last year, or 2 and whatever it is. But anyway, all right, let's move forward to what's up, my guy, Keith Engel. Thank you so much, Keith. You're awesome. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. Keith, TGI Sports, one of our colleagues on our big McGrath. Is it McGrath streaming?
Yeah, it's McGrath. It's McGrath streaming podcast project.
Yes, I love it. So. All right, so yeah.
I said, well, again, we were having that conversation. Well, Jack and Keith were having that conversation this morning on the Keith and Jack weekend playbook. By the way, check them out every Monday and Friday at 8:00 in the morning. 8. That's Eastern Standard Time for some of you folks. Most of you folks, everybody. So yeah, just check them out. They're two seasoned guys, I would say, and they talk pretty good sports. So yeah, check them out. But yet, I think Keith did that. Sonja. Remember we had that conversation about him staying up past certain time. I think he did that so he can prove he stayed up.
That's why I said thanks for staying up with us, because I know. I was like, and you are retired now. You could stay up. It's 9:00. Like, it's not midnight. So thanks so much, Keith. We'll know you shared it when we see our views going up, and they've not gone up yet. So I think he hit that and dozed back off right after he hit the comment. All right, next game, like I told you guys earlier, Jaden Daniels is back for the Commanders. This is versus the Vikings that we've already said, oh, he's there. This is the game we just talked about. The Vikings are like just poop water right now. They looked good for a while until they did not. They're at the bottom of the NFC North. We already know the Commanders should actually have this game in the bag. Next game, Cincinnati Bengals, who surprised us. Joe Cool is back, y'all. Now, this is what I want to talk to you about versus Josh Daniels, the up and down Bills. We've seen them put up a bunch of points on teams, and then we've seen Miami wrangle them in. And then close call games that we didn't know about. And now they're going to be playing Cincinnati in Buffalo. What are your thoughts on this game, B?
Well, pause to the Baltimore game, because the defense actually for Cincinnati played really well in that game. It was quite. That's what really won that game, was that defense. But I don't see that happening. They're what's the thing? They're
one trick pony.
Trash juice. and as a defense is trash juice. And I don't think that Buffalo, they really have to start focusing on winning all their games because they have to play New England. And I think it's the last game of the season they play New England. But they have to win all their games because right now they're 2 games behind New England, and they got to win their games to even have a chance to get that first place. They can't be messing around, so they have to win all their games too. And this is where it's going to start against Cincinnati. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think, because of the fact that Cincinnati can't stop anybody and Buffalo can't stop the run. And Chase Brown, you get him going against the defensive line against Buffalo, he should have a good game. But other than that, I think Buffalo comes out on top of it because it's in Buffalo and they have Josh Allen. So,
yeah, another game for the AFC South divisional title, the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts. Trevor Lawrence playing way better than he was at the beginning of the season, even though they did start winning a little bit. But the Colts I don't know if they're starting to tire out from all this offensive playing they've been doing or what. They struggled against Atlanta overseas and barely beat them. I mean, are the Colts, is this a competitive game, B, or do the Colts this is in Jacksonville?
Well, I'm going to tell you the interesting thing about the AFC South right now is that anybody can win this division. You see the Texans. The Texans are starting to come up here. They're starting to play some pretty good ball. In fact, they're just as awe-inspiring right now playing as the Carolina Panthers are because Texas, they've on a 4-game winning streak. And this is with a combination of 2 quarterbacks. So the defense is just outrageous right now. They're playing at the top of their level. I've never seen a defense play this good. But Indianapolis, I think they've just been a victim of circumstances. They're going overseas to play Atlanta. A lot of teams, they are forced to go over there because that's what's on the schedule. And that probably wasn't a good thing for them. Then they played Houston. Houston was already way up there, and they got the best of that Houston team. And that Houston team beat them. Barely, but they beat them. So now they're playing Jacksonville. And I'm sorry. A lot of people are thinking Jacksonville is really good. Their defense is better than it was last year, but I still think they're pretenders. I really do. I don't think they're going to win this division. And this is going to be the first set. They play Jacksonville twice in the next 5 games. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, divisional games.
Kind of like Panthers. Panthers are playing the Bucks twice. The division will be decided with that game. Mm-hmm. I wanted to give a shout out. You talked about how well Texans, even with the backup quarterback, when C.J. Stroud was out concussed, Davis Mills came in and solidly held them down. In fact, he's just been granted an extension through 2026, contractually wise, because he actually came in as, I guess, unsigned or what have you. He wasn't even part of the original roster. And, of course, they're still hanging on to their 3rd string, Graham Mertz. He was drafted this season. He's a rookie. He hasn't even seen any playing time. But Davis did a really good job. And the fact that we are talking about the Texans just showed basically how it is. And they're playing the Chiefs coming up this week. The Chefs, basically, I should say, because that's what that game is. But, yeah, all right. So who do you think? You think the Colts are going to still get this one, though?
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to win this one. I think JT, he's been playing out of sorts, but I think the blueprint has been set on how to beat Indianapolis. You stop JT, and as long as you stop JT, and JT is Jonathan Taylor for y'all that don't know, JT gets stopped, then you got to put everything on Daniel Jones' back. Now, Daniel Jones is a very good game manager, but he is not somebody that's going to win a game for you. He's going to more likely lose a game for you than he's going to win a game for you. So you got, as long as you stop JT and force Daniel Jones to do that, and that's what teams have been trying to do. They've been trying to stop and putting all their guys up there, forcing the Indianapolis Colts to pass the ball instead of run the ball. And that's what's been getting them into trouble. What they need to do is just continue to run the ball, take their time, and get it going. Because JT, he's one of the best running backs in the league. So let him keep doing that. I don't think Jacksonville's got enough defense to stop that offense right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. So next game is gonna be another divisional matchup: the New Orleans Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just want to plug in real quick. Of course, Panthers fans everywhere are rooting for the Saints. Who dat? Make sure you guys get your next gifted win, courtesy of another NFC South leader, because we shall see you guys on the following Sunday. This is a game that's always tricky for these two because these two play each other really, really hard. You know, those seaside teams, that's what they do. But I saw a clip of Baker, and, you know, him and Dan Canales, Panthers coach, are extremely close. And the guy was asking, you know, hey, are you upset of, you know, how good they're doing? And he was like, oh, right now we're just worried. We're going to play the Saints. And he was like, well, we just want to know what you think because they're doing a great job. He's doing a great job in Carolina, and you guys will be playing it. Yeah, but this week we're playing the Saints. Okay, yeah, you're playing the Saints, and Mike Evans is back. You know, Bucky Irving,
No,
like a lot of people.
he's on his way back. He's not
on his way
exactly
back. Is
yet.
he going to be clear? He's being cleared though for Sunday, right?
Well, he's on his 21 day. He's on his 21 day coming off of IR, so he'll be. He'll be. I don't think he's going to be ready to play this game. The next game against Atlanta, he'll be ready to play.
You mean against the Panthers?
No, against Tampa Bay. That's the next game. I mean, against Atlanta. The next game is against Atlanta.
Are you talking? Oh, you're talking for Tampa Bay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking New Orleans because the Panthers. No. Okay, so when Tampa Bay plays Atlanta the following Sunday, we're playing the Saints. So they got two divisional. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. That's December 14th, guys. So, I mean, do you think it's possible for the Saints to get this one? They're traveling. No.
No. Sorry, James, but no, they don't have any chance. And James would probably agree with me too. They just don't have it. Tampa Bay. First of all, they're starting to creep out of the little shell that they were in because of all these injuries that they were having, and you know the team has been underperforming because of that issue. I never say injury should be an excuse for you to lose, but at the same time, it's a fact of life in the NFL. When you don't have your best players out there, that's, you know, you're not going to be playing your best. But their next two games are at home against two divisional opponents, New Orleans and Atlanta. So that bodes well for them. That bodes well for them because they're at home. And I think they go to Carolina. They go to Carolina to play you guys, right? First. I'm thinking, let's see, what is that? 16th.
So the 14th, we're in. That's gonna be the weekend of the.
So then the weekend after they play Atlanta, they got to go to Carolina and play you guys on week 16, and on week 17 they play somebody else, and then I think on week 18 they play you again.
Yeah, we finished the season out with them in January because we played Seattle in between them. So we played New Orleans. Then we play Tampa Bay. Then we play Seattle. Then we're finishing out the first week of, you know, the regular season because we're definitely going to the postseason. Let's be clear. Our season's not over. We will make sure that Tampa stays where they need to stay. Y'all save this clip. We will be there. So we're rooting for you, Atlanta. We're rooting for you this Sunday, and we're rooting for you the next Sunday as well. We're rooting for you anytime you play Tampa. We're rooting for you.
You guys have no loyalty in
this. We need it. We need it.
F Atlanta. That's what you should be. You'd be the only Carolina Panther I know. And there's a Carolina Panther show on Jeremy Bellenrich's show that I do. He's a Carolina Panther fan. He don't care. He hates.
I don't like them. Everybody knows this. But everybody knows this, and they know how I feel, especially living here in Atlanta. They know, and I know that person you're talking about because Jeremy has talked to me about him. They know that we need them to take care of Tampa. So at this point, I don't care if it's a cockroach on Mars that needs to come down and take care of Tampa. Do it and do it well. Next game is going to be
El Cuj.
Yeah, do it well. The New Orleans Saints, the Miami Dolphins versus the Jets. Jets are going to just get jetted up out of there at home. They are running out of water. They have no water. The jet skis and the Dolphins are coming to ride on those jets right on up out of there. That's at 1 o'clock. Then we got our 4 o'clock games, the Broncos and Raiders, divisional matchup. Broncos should get it done at 4:05. Rams and Cardinals. That's an iffy game because I saw the Cardinals play really close with Tampa Bay last week. That game could have gone either way. They literally lost by 3 points to Tampa Bay. And this game is in Arizona with the Rams, who the Panthers just wrestled up last week. Why not?
The Rams are going to kill them. They're mad too. They lost to Carolina.
Yes, sir.
They are going to be PO'd.
Yeah, so everybody's
I'm telling
you,
Arizona's going to take a butt whooping.
Okay. Well, the next game, all right, 425 in your division, Packers and Bears at Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's going to be a good game.
This could end up in a tie. I wouldn't be mad. But actually, this is going to be one of two games coming up in the next three that they play each other. Once at Green Bay and once at Chicago. This is going to be for a division lead. So whoever wins this game will probably win the next game and probably be division winner. Because the Lions aren't going to have a chance to do that. But they could have a chance to move up to second place. I'd rather have Green Bay beat Chicago because Detroit's already beaten beaten Chicago. So if it comes down to the last game of the season where we're seated at, and they can beat Chicago in Chicago, they'll have second place and they'll have a playoff spot. Like I said, Detroit's got to win all their games. But I'm between Green Bay and Chicago for the division title. That's what it is.
All right. And then the Sunday night game, we talked a little bit about the Texans earlier. They're playing the Chiefs, who, believe it or not, are under 500. And the season is wrapping up. So people that say that Patrick Mahomes always finds a way, unless they win out, they have no way in this year.
Yeah, this is where they're going to be eliminated. I think Houston's going to beat them.
I cannot wait.
They can't play. Kansas City has good defense too, so they're Houston's offense will be challenged, but they're going to be getting after Patrick Mahomes like ain't nobody's business. You see what they did to Josh Allen when they beat him,
yeah.
Right? 8 sacks, and Josh Allen was running for his life. He was running backwards. That's what, trying to make a play. That's what Patrick Mahomes is going to do too. He's going to run backwards trying to make plays, and they're going to be all over him. Going to be all over him like white on rice. So, or flayers on Kermit, whatever you want to say.
All right, as we get ready to wrap up here, the Monday night game is the Eagles and the Chargers. It is at the Chargers. No big implications yet, but you can see seeding purposes across the board because it's the two NFC teams against each other, NFC East and West. B, what are your thoughts on that game? It's 8:20 Monday night.
Well, the Chargers are the AFC West. The Chargers have to win this game because they have to keep pace with the Broncos. Not keep pace with them, but be behind them. So, when it comes down to it, they'll be in that position. Philadelphia has been looking anything but like a Super Bowl champion in their past 3 or 4 games. They got beat by Chicago. They got beat by Dallas.
Wow.
Those are 2 teams that should never beat them. And they got beat. And right now they got somebody going on. One of their players is going on IR for the rest of this. I forgot who it was, but they haven't. They're not doing good. I think the Chargers can win this game. Uh-oh, did you freeze?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely anybody's game here, and they definitely have not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sorry, guys. Looks like I froze up there for a second. I'm back. Definitely not playing, but Jawan Taylor, their right tackle, is a major loss for the Chiefs. He's on an injury report for week 14. He's the offensive tackle. And Trey Smith, their right guard, also is on IR, did not practice this week. And Josh Simmons, their left tackle, was placed on IR as well and is out for at least 4 games, which is the whole season at this point. Chris Rowland is out for them, and so is Nico Remigio is also out for them. And Pacheco, he's practiced. Isaiah Pacheco has practiced, even though with some knee issues. Patrick Mahomes with some knee issues. George Karafoulis also with some knee injuries. So going to be a good game. Nonetheless, B, thanks for always making this happen on Friday with the fellas. I'm Sonja, and join B, Jack, and James in the morning for the debate show on this station. You guys have a great weekend and stay warm out there.
Peace.
God bless.
It's cold indeed.